Now that I have an Ubuntu installer, I'm ready to install it on a system. That system needs to be shut off, and it's a good idea to make a backup of it before you install. During the installation process, we'll be changing the configuration of the hard drive, and especially if you're trying to install Ubuntu alongside another operating system, there's a risk of data loss unless you're careful. In this case, we'll install Ubuntu so it's the only operating system on this computer, meaning that any data currently on this computer's hard drive will be erased. Having our installation disk ready, I'll make sure my computer is turned off, and I'll plug in my USB drive. Now I need to tell the computer to start up from this installation disk, rather than its built-in hard drive. To do this, I need to press a particular key during the computer startup sequence. On a PC, you'll usually have to press F10 or F12 or something like that while the system is powering up. It's usually displayed briefly at the boot screen, so keep a sharp eye out for it. You might have to hit Escape or something like that during a logo screen to get the key information. Of course, depending on your model of computer, what you see will differ a little bit. Check with your manufacturer's documentation to be sure. Or you can go into your computer's BIOS, where the system configuration and startup options are, and change the boot order of your devices so that USB is first. But that's more advanced than what we need right now. If you're using a Mac, power the system down, then power it back on, and while it's starting, press and hold the Option key. Go ahead and plug in the USB disk when this is going on. If everything goes as planned, you'll see a light gray screen with some icons on it, including one that indicates the USB drive. I'll power my computer on, and then I'll press F10 to bring up the boot selector on startup. I'll choose the device I want to start from. In this case, one of these USB entries. If you don't pick right the first time, restart and try a different option. Now, there's two different screens you might see at this point, depending on how your system is set up. If it's set up for EFI, which is newer, you'll see a black and white menu with a few options. If your system isn't using EFI, you'll see a window with buttons that say Try Ubuntu and Install Ubuntu. I'll pick Install. The installer works for a few seconds and it auto-detects my language. I'll confirm my keyboard layout and language and press Continue. Following that, I'm given the option to connect to Wi-Fi. I'll skip this for now. If your computer's plugged into Ethernet, you probably won't see this screen. And then I can choose if I want to do a normal installation or a minimal installation. A normal installation gives you a web browser, utilities, Office software, and some other software. And a minimal installation just gives you a web browser and some utilities. Throughout the rest of this course, we'll be exploring some of those Office software programs and utilities, so I'm going to choose normal installation. And down here, I'll choose to install the third-party software for graphics. Then I'm asked if I want to install Ubuntu alongside Windows 10, or to erase the disk and install Ubuntu. In this case, I'm going to erase everything on this computer and make Ubuntu the only operating system that's available. I can also choose to encrypt the installation or to use LVM, which will make it easier to extend the hard drive later on. But for now, while we're learning, I'll leave those off. Then I'm asked to confirm changes to the disks. Beyond this point, any data that was on those disks is gone, so before you click Continue, make sure you've got a backup. I'll choose my time zone and click Continue. Here I can set my name and set my computer's name. Then I can pick a username for myself and choose a password that I'll need to type in when I log into the computer. Now when the installation is complete, I need to click Restart Now. I'll unplug the installer and press Enter, and my system will restart. When it does that, I'll be greeted with a login screen. I'll type my password to log in. Great. Let's start exploring.